right, Rob. What told you more, the 14-game winning streak or getting swept by the Astros?
I think the sweep of the Astros tells you more, it informs you more, because I think it really emphasized how shallow this lineup truly is. You've got two legitimate, consistent threats in that lineup, just two. Julio Rodriguez and Ty France. You have guys that are capable. This isn't a knock on anybody, but you know, whether it's J.P. Crawford, whether it's Gino Suarez, whether it's Winker, Frazier, whatever, they can do things in moments. They've had big moments, all of them have, but in terms of a game in, game out threat, these guys have really been up and down, and your most consistent producers, your most consistent threats have been Julio Rodriguez and Ty France, and you were without Julio. So to me, that really exposed, when the other guys aren't clicking, just how up and down and how spotty this lineup truly is.
So what could you take from the 14-game winning streak then?
That they can find their way around it. That's what they've been doing. That's what they did last year with 90 wins. They're after 96 games, they're at the same exact record as they were last year at this point. And last year they had one of the worst offenses in the American League and in baseball, yet because of the strength of their bullpen and their starting pitching, which we saw in that Astros series. Bullpen was great, starting pitching outside of Robbie Ray was great. They gave you a chance to win. You had quality starts, but the offense, as it's shown, goes flat at times. And you saw that against really good pitching, even though their pitching did a nice job, again, the exception being Robbie Ray. So they've shown that they can work around it, that they can get enough out of when Julio's there. Now, can they, if he's gone the whole year, or if Ty France goes down, do I believe that they're going to be very competitive? No, because I just don't think they have enough that is consistently producing in that lineup to compensate for the loss of either of those two guys.
So the Mariners still currently sit in a wild card spot. Do you think they're a playoff team?
I do. I think we're waiting to see what happens with Lewis being back in the lineup, and with, when Haniger gets back, how much of a boost is that? I've got to believe Jerry's going to make a move at the trade deadline, unless things just fall apart between now and then and they're completely out of it for some reason. So I think their pitching and their bullpen is enough to make them competitive, with the offense chipping in. I'd love it every night. Just doesn't happen with it. But as often as they have been, that's what you learned from the 14-game winning streak. They weren't blowing teams out. It wasn't 8-0 every night or 7-1 every night. So they were winning close games. They were winning games where the offense really didn't do a ton, but they did just enough. And what the key was the pitching coming out of the bullpen and the starters. And you've got that to this point. Everybody's been rock solid. A couple hiccups there, again, not to pick on Robbie Ray, but Marco's had his hiccups and Logan's had his. But for the most part, this rotation has been really strong, and I think that can carry them into the postseason if you can get, some sort of consistent production from the offense.
Right, time for the really big question. Is the timing right for a Juan Soto trade, and is that what you want them to do?
I was thinking about that on vacation, because obviously it's a huge story, but I guess it depends on what's the price. What is the asking price? I don't want to mortgage their entire farm system for them, but at the same time, that's a large part of the reason you develop the farm system, is to have those trade chips, to go out and acquire the pieces that you need, whether it's another starter, which they could use, or a bat like Soto, a generational talent who's only 23 years old. So it's incredibly enticing. I would have to see what the asking price would be, but I would lean toward, he's 23. Now, if he wants $500 million, I don't know. Are they in a position to do that and still field a competitive team around him? I know there's no salary cap. There's the competitive balance tax they've got to worry about. It's a tough one. I want him as a fan. Yeah, I want to see that guy in a Mariners uniform. Who am I willing to part with, though? What are they going to ask in exchange for him? But if you're asking me to vote yes or no, I'm going with yes.